Hello and welcome to day 6 of the Millionaire Marketing Makeover. I'm your host, Izzy Nally with Izzy Nally Consulting. I'm so happy for you to be joining. Day 6, we've got a couple bonus sessions. So the Millionaire Marketing Makeover is generally just 3 days, but we've added in a bunch of beautiful extra bonuses. And today is day 6. Today, we're going to be talking about how we go from hobby to business owner and into CEO. And although I think it's fairly obvious, there's going to be some mindset shifts that need to happen. We're going to talk about those, but also it's our marketing makeover. How is marketing different from the hobby mode to the business stage and then into this big brand and being a CEO? So how is marketing affected? What does marketing look like in those different stages? How are you shifting and where are you at within your marketing itself? And I will say that everyone shows up at different ways. And sometimes we're starting off in that CEO mindset, even when we're in a hobby. I see people do this beautifully. And then I also see people that are on social media and they're doing their branding and they're doing it as if it were a hobby and they're expecting CEO style results. So we're going to talk about that, but of course, there's always the mindset shifts that are behind how we actually make that marketing happen. As we know, typically we hire a marketing expert within these larger businesses because they have the expertise, because they have the vision, because they have the creativity, and they know how to show up with a presence. And I'm going to tell you the truth. The truth is, it's very easy to create all of this and see it when it's not your business. Versus when it is your business, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. And when you are in that CEO role, that business owner and even CEO role, you are the one that's finding and guiding the direction. You might not necessarily be the one who's doing all the creating unless you choose that that's something that you want to do. And even in that CEO role, you're still going to have a team that helps you. And again, I'm going to keep coming back to day one. That vision and mission is super, super important. As the CEO, you become the face of the company, right? We are fully aware of these larger companies. Who is the CEO? Who is the owner? They're very much in the spotlight. And in your business, you most likely will be too, because you are the visionary. And so, what feels good for you is extremely important. I saw this happen just recently. Someone made a post. I cannot think of who it was, but it was really fascinating how this person had hired a brand specialist. And I say that because some of these brand specialists actually don't have a ton of branding expertise. They've just been creating and helping people design brands. And so they've given themselves that title. I always empower you to ask for their credentials. Ask what they know, ask their thought theory behind what they do. So, this person had hired a brand specialist and they were a Reiki and spiritual coach. And they had this beautiful brand where it was like these pinks and greens and purples, which are always what I recommend for any Reiki or spiritual person. It just connects. And she had done this kind of tie-dye and some it just felt mystical. And she showed a picture of when she hired a brand specialist and what her brand looked like. And it was very blank. And I encourage people to go bold, to show your own personality. Let yourself stand out. And then you can have a specialist refine it just to say, like, hey, this looks a little bit more refined. This looks a little bit more elegant. This looks a little bit more targeted. But you always want your brand to be the essence of you, but you also need to be thinking about your target audience. And I always come back to this. because you need to know who your target audience is. If your target audience, like you're teaching Reiki and spirituality, they are going to be attracted to this more mystical look. So allow yourself to go there. If you are a yoga teacher, people are going to want this minimalism, this crisp, this clean, because they're working on purity of themselves. And so think about what it is that your client is attracted to and what they're also trying to achieve. But it's also really important that it's also something that appeals to you. And I'll give you a tip. A tip is go browse Canva or all these templates that are on there, or browse Pinterest and go look at what is the stuff that you're pinning? What is the stuff that you're visually attracted to? Those are the things that you need to start looking at and going, oh, these are the things that I tend to be attracted to. What are these color themes? What are these style themes? Am I picking things with lots of plants? Am I picking things with lots of white? I'm saying things of myself. What is it that the clothes colors that I tend to wear? What is it, the books even that I tend to read? What are the topics that I'm talking about? And for me, I like this crisp white, but you'll see the colors underneath of me. I also really like these maroons and these golds, and I like this richness. And so I like to play with that as well. And it depends on what I'm teaching. I might go more with my blue, or I might go more with my red, or I might go more with my gold. And I utilize those to also help me theme within my methodology as well. And that might be too much for you. I am a marketing specialist and I do love branding. So if you need any tips of that sort, by all means say, hey, Izzy, can you take a look at what I'm doing and give me some feedback? I'd be more than happy. Quick 5 minutes of feedback is always no problem at all. So today, let's come back today. Today, we are talking about from hobby to business to CEO. And I want to know, as we get started, what phase do you think you are in? Do you feel like you're in the hobby phase? Do you feel like you're in the business phase? Do you feel like you're in the CEO stage and you're like, I don't know. That's why I came here. Please tell me. Are you not sure? And that's okay, because I'm going to break these down. All right. So within the hobby phase is we're not too concerned about making money. In the hobby phase, we get excited about making some money, and we're excited about making that money because it helps support funding our learning, our continued learning. I see a lot of yoga teachers who are in the hobby phase and they think they're in the business phase, because really they're earning just enough to put back into the fund to pay for the additional training. And they may be in the hobby phase even not by choice, that's just the cycle that they're getting stuck in. And that can happen a lot when you're stuck in the hobby phase and you're trying to hop over to the business phase, but your self-worth and your money karma, your money drama is still in this cycle, and you have a lot of I'm not worthy, or yoga should be for everyone, I shouldn't charge, and feeling like people can't afford yoga. If you're stuck in that phase where you're thinking people can't afford my services, we're projecting. We're projecting and we're thinking because I personally can't afford it, they're not going to be able to afford it, is typically where we get. So in that hobby phase as well, it's generally we're resharing a lot of quotes, we're resharing others' posts, and it's very quote oriented. It's very, let me help inspire you and motivate you. And that really is a display of what's going on within yourself. It's saying, oh, I love this. And we want that. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. But generally, you're just pulling from other people and you're allowing yourself to be inspired, and then you're just sharing that inspiration with others. And generally, that's okay. These stages will build on themselves. So you might start to get a lot of people liking your posts during those quotes. And they're following you because they love to see all these quotes that you're resharing, and they want to reshare them too. And again, that is perfect. That is beautiful. Now, how you can improve upon that is that you would begin to establish your own brand and your own branding. And you would take that same quote and you would put it into your own template on Canva, and then just have your own name or something like that, like Yoga with Izzy. Now, my yoga business is Fig Leaf Yoga and Fitness. So I tend to put my little figleaf.fit at the bottom, and then I can reshare it. Now, occasionally I will still reshare someone else's things because I want to give them credit. But the bulk majority of what I'm posting within my yoga business is things that I have put into my own template, so that when I post them on Instagram or something, that it's following a general color theme. It makes it look a little bit more professional than a glob of a mess. Now, do you have to color brand everything to a like exact style so that you look like you own a gym? No, but it should have a general theme where they're not all clashing together. Okay, super simple, keeping it easy. So in this hobby phase, again, we might be just resharing a lot of stuff. We are still learning ourselves. And so any money that we make is typically going back into supporting our learning and hobbies. And there's really not much more after that. Now, when we get to the business phase is where we are now a business. We are starting to make enough to pay for any continuing education. Or if you're a coach, maybe you don't have that continuing education anymore. But if you have something where you're trying to up level, you might be investing more into your business training rather than actual training on the skill itself. So this is where you might start investing into your business rather than investing into your skill. Now, the mindset starts to shift because you recognize that you have a business and then you have you. And these can commonly get a little misconstrued because we're still coming out of that hobby phase. And a lot of people can get stuck in this contractor mindset where it's like, I am charging for me to be paid. And this shift will start to happen as that business begins to up level. I'll say there's normally a business A phase and then there's a business B phase before you go into CEO phase. So your ABC. Okay. So within the beginner business phase, there is this, oh, I'm a contractor. And then you start to realize your worth and you realize that you do need to charge a little extra, more than you would just to pay for yourself, because you do need to put in some work into up leveling your business, such as paying for. So you're paying yourself now and you're charging extra so you can pay for your business coaching and your business. Maybe it's online platforms, right? So for me, like I pay for Calendly for scheduling. I pay for MailChimp. I pay for a course platform. And then occasionally I might get a VA or something to help out. Then I have, which I of course I'm in the later stage. Then I pay for business coaching, and that business coaching gets more expensive as you move further on down the road, which is another reason why we tend to charge more, because we have gained more experience and we are up leveling ourselves. So that happens. So we've got hobby, then we've got the beginner phase of business, and then we move into the later stage of business. And when we're in this business phase, we do still post the quotes, but hopefully we are learning now that we do need some branding. So we are taking those quotes and we're putting them in our templates, but we're not just posting quotes all the time. This is where we also have to focus more on making sales because we're growing our business. We realize our business is more than just us. It's more than just our continuing education. And so this is where we start to promote what we're working on. We also have some interaction posts. We might have some teaching posts. And we're playing around with this system. And this is where we generally start going, oh my gosh, I didn't get enough likes. Oh my gosh, I didn't get enough comments. I need more likes. I need more comments. And it gets confusing because you were getting a ton of likes and comments when you were posting just quotes all the time. And so you think generally that there's something wrong with what you're doing. But when you become a business, people might not interact as much. And this is where it's really important to have your stories and have more refined posts. Again, we talked about the branding stories that need to go along with your business. And this is where we're getting to know our target audience better and better, so that as we shape our posts to interact with them rather than trying to get them to interact with you. Okay, we're shaping our post to interact with them rather than them just interact with us. So we realize that there is now this relationship and that it's not about me, it's about my business and them. So this mindset shift of me in hobby phase to at business phase, it's about them. So we start to disconnect from our business. So we say, I'm not my business and my business is not me, but I hold the vision for my business. And that continues to grow as we get into CEO mindset. When we're in CEO mindset, again, we are holding the vision. This is where you're approving and you have a certain guide to where everything is going within social media, within marketing. But at this point, you will definitely have a marketing manager. You will definitely have someone who is posting this for you or scheduling it all out. At this phase, you would be using something like Hootsuite or a similar. That's just a very popular one. There's multiple different brands and some that are even cheaper than Hootsuite. But you would have something like Hootsuite, and you would have your whole month planned in advance. You would be doing all of the quarterly planning. You would have your business blueprint, and you would know exactly what theme you are working with each month. You would know when your launches are, when your products you're putting out are available, and you would be aligning your posts to be warming up the audience to be ready to buy. So for example, if you were going to sell a life course package on burnout, for example, and you're warming them up, you would be telling them stories about how you used to be burnt out and now you're not. You would be talking about the pain points, and you would also be giving them a vision of what a life looks like without burnout, so that they are ready to, one, watch your live, or they're ready to just purchase. And so all of that would be very strategic. That's a marketing strategy that would be happening when you're in that CEO mindset. Now, by all means, you can do that at any phase. But I do say that for the average person, we like to crawl before we walk and walk before we run. And that is a much less stressed version of how to do it. So allow yourself to work in stages and phases. Allow yourself to recognize which stage or phase that you are in, and allow yourself to know that this is where you're going over here to the CEO mindset, so that you can gradually practice that, refine that, and allow yourself to get bigger and better at that. Okay. So this is the difference. Today's the difference between hobby mindset, business mindset, CEO mindset, and the difference between hobby marketing, business marketing, and CEO marketing. Now, if you would like to learn more about this, let's see if I can get my little visual down for you. Oh, that came off really easy. So within the Million Maker Business Blueprint, we have the posting with purpose, we have messaging, and we go through how to create your funnels, how to do a webinar, And as I talked about yesterday, day 5, in what are those factors to create a successful business, we'll be ironing all of those out so that you have your roadmap, you have your blueprint of where you're going, what you're building in your business. Now, I have a little image. You will see there's lots of things that are included in the Million Maker Business Blueprint. And this is my little visual to make sure that I hit home with this. So we have our scaling and our growth. We have our automations, our systems, our operations. We also learn project management and time blocking. And we do our quarterly planning. We have that level up mindset and life. And then within our wheel, within the full creation, we're working on branding, messaging, our lifestyle to maintain our energy and our health to prevent that burnout, money, success, mindset, our funnels, our webinars, our posting on social media, how to create a product, a digital product, and then how to create our high ticket offer as well. So you see there's a lot included. Now, I'm telling you all of this because you could easily go and collect freebies or collect mini courses on how to create these. And I will be offering these also in smaller portions so you can sign up for just one. However, there is an art to piecing all of these puzzle pieces together and knowing where they go. So just like when you are building a house, you can be given the kitchen and you can be given the living room and you can be given all these different rooms, but how you piece them together will take a very different shape of what the house itself looks like. And so how we put them together is just as important as making sure that we know all the information of all of these things. And even if you have learned how to do some of those pieces, again, we'll still work on it and refine it and make sure that we are putting them all together in the right way. As you can see today, we talked about mindset and how the mindset shifts need to happen. So maybe that's your key focus that you need to be working on. Or maybe it is the actual details. We've talked a couple times about that masculine energy and that feminine energy and how we need to find balance within both of those because we do have both. And both are extremely beneficial in their own times. And as coaches, as health advocates, as yoga teachers, as spiritual teachers, most of us tend to be a little stronger on the feminine side. And so we tend to be really attracted to the self-development. We tend to be really attracted to the mindset. And it becomes a little bit of a struggle sometimes to learn the more masculine qualities. And I will tell you, I love teaching the masculine qualities. And I love teaching them in a way that the feminine mind, the feminine energy understands so that it can be more of a dance rather than this more like military, we have to do this. Because often what we really need is to understand the why. And we need to understand how we can bring the creativity in and to understand how it's really benefiting us rather than this is just something I have to do and becoming very regimented. So that doesn't normally feel good for us. And so when we create these more masculine aspects of our business, and if you haven't yet watch yesterday, day 5, because we talk about those factors that are needed within your business to make it a business. Generally in that hobby mindset is where we are just in our feminine energy. In our business mindset, we're starting to bring on some of that masculine energy. And in our CEO mindset, we need that masculine side developed. However, we need the feminine and the masculine really doing a very beautiful dance together. And if you don't like doing a lot of the masculine stuff, that side still needs to be developed, but you can hand off those tasks to other people. And you get to really decide how you want to run the business. But you still need to, when you're a manager of any sort, you need to be able to understand and help guide. All right. Thanks for joining in day 6. Let's talk about your homework. Your homework is to really decide how you're showing up in your mindset Is it hobby, business, or CEO? And how are you showing up in your marketing? And what shifts do you need, as we talked about today, to start shifting into, to move into that next level? All right. So that homework post will be coming and you're going to comment on it and just be honest. There's no judgment here. This is all a supportive environment. Thanks again for joining on day 6 of the Millionaire Marketing Makeover. Tomorrow, day 7, we'll be talking about the Million Maker Business Blueprint and what that really looks like. What does this really look like? All right. See you then.